Hi everyone, Dr. Remy from Posture Size. Today we're going to be talking about how to train your personal training clients with injuries by avoiding the most common mistake with stretching injured clients. Hope you enjoy. So when it comes to how to personal train your clients with injuries, one of the most common mistakes that personal trainers make and that I teach in my workshops and seminars for personal trainers is improper stretching. Many times when a personal training client has been injured, let's take for example a shoulder injury or a chest injury, and you're trying to stretch that soft tissue out, if you fail to consider the neurological system and its implications in the stretch and the soft tissues that are injured, you're going to wind up missing a lot of what's needed for that particular personal training client. And many times your stretch is going to actually overstretch and tear tissues instead of helping them. Falsely, a personal trainer thinks that if I just take the tissue either before a workout or after the workout, maybe you think if you warm it up first it's better, which is true, but when you passively stretch it up, either by having the client hold on to something and lean away, or you using either proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation techniques or the techniques where you're trying to make sure that you're increasing the extensibility by bringing the arm back passively, many times you're not resetting the nervous system that's geared up, that's upregulated or is protecting the soft tissue. And without considering how to inhibit the nervous system and to reset the muscle spindles in the area, you many times are going to have a stretch on a tissue that's not ready to stretch. It's still too tight, and you're going to wind up overstretching or damaging that injured tissue. So what you need to consider is something called the muscle spindle and the local neurology in the area. When we suffer an injury, let's go back to the shoulder example, the body inherently wants to tighten and bind down that area to try to protect it from excess motion. Sometimes that increased tension is actually working against the client. It's adding to some of their pain. Things like angiofibroblastic proliferation, where nerves and blood vessels are trying to grow through scar tissue or tight tissue. When you move, that tissue becomes tugged and pulled, and it increases the pain. So stretching is good to break up some of that scar tissue and to elongate the binding down of those soft tissue fibers. But if we're not considering the nervous system first and resetting it, recalibrating it, we many times are going to injure. So how do we reset the nervous system? In the example of the shoulder, we want to use an active motion that is an opposite to the soft tissues that are injured. It's the same direction as a stretch, but you're having the personal training client move into that on their own. So for instance, doing a set where you have an external rotation of the shoulder and abduction, whether it's with a cable apparatus, with a light dumbbell, or even just the weight of the arm, holding for a few seconds in each position helps to engage the antagonistic or opposite muscles. The external rotators, the muscles on the back of the shoulder blade, the shoulder retractors, they're all going to contract, and reciprocally through the nervous system that helps to inhibit or relax the nerves that want to tighten the front. So doing 1, 2, or 3 sets of these before the stretch at higher reps as opposed to a lot of resistance, although a lot of resistance can be used as well, is a great way to take the nervous system and prepare it for the stretch. The muscle spindle, which is inside the muscle spindles sense length relationships in muscles. When the muscle spindle has been up-regulated, meaning it has sensed that an injury is going to happen, if you change the length too quickly without relaxing the nervous system, it's going to be more likely to actually tighten the muscle after the stretch in an effort to protect it, and you'll lose all the benefits of your flexibility training. So using a reciprocally inhibition motion, like external rotation in the front of our shoulder, and then performing the stretch will help to relax that muscle spindle and the local neurological components to allow that stretch to happen more. In the instance of hip flexor stretches, many times hip flexors are tight. We try to bring the leg back, maybe a posterior pelvic tilt to start stretching some of those hip flexors. If we don't engage the glutes first and activate them to reciprocally inhibit the front hip flexors, we many times are going to overstretch and stimulate those muscle spindles and the hip flexors to create more tightness. So doing a set or two of some type of hip extension exercise is going to activate the glutes. Once the glutes are activated and they're neurologically inhibiting the front flexors, it's much easier to perform that hip flexor stretch You're going to get a deeper stretch. You're going to be able to stretch it back further. And most importantly, you're not going to be working against the geared up or upregulated neurology of those hip flexors. They're going to be more relaxed from the beginning of the stretch, allows you to have many more benefits in terms of your flexibility. You're going to be able to get further range of motion and improved results from your stretching program with your injured clients. If you like this video on how to personally train clients with injuries when it comes to stretching using antagonistic inhibition techniques, feel free to subscribe to our channel. We got a lot of great videos of how to train personal training clients with injuries. If you'd like to help me share this valuable information with others, give me a thumbs up below. Questions or comments, write in. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you're looking for a program that teaches you how to assess your clients in terms of their biomechanics, how to use neurology and biomechanics in terms of setting up a training program, figuring out how to identify your client's biomechanical faults that may be causing their injuries, look no further than our essential crash course for personal trainers available at the posturesize.com website. It's got a full analysis of how to figure out what the mechanical issues are that are causing your client's injuries or pain conditions, mechanical dysfunctions, movement patterns. It gives you a program design in terms of changing the program and how you go about implementing the corrective exercises, and it gives you all kinds of exercise modifications to be able to suit your training program to your injured or healing client. I hope this video on how to train your personal training clients with injuries helps you with your personal training business.